Hey there, welcome to School of Emo, the podcast where we dive into the world of emo, pop punk, and everything in between. If you've ever found yourself in your car screaming the lyrics to Taking Back Sunday, wearing way too much eyeliner in the early 2000s, adding a buckle or a chain to every outfit you've put on, you are in the right place. I'm Erin Judge, and each week I will be your fellow student, guiding you through the music, the culture, and the history that shaped an entire generation of angsty teens. I am not the teacher of this school. I am a fellow student, here to learn alongside you and from you. Together, we will cover a lot of information that doesn't really matter, but will remind us of the days of stalking MySpace channels and getting lost in chat rooms. So connect your dial up, turn on your webcam, and let's go to School of Emo. Welcome back to School of Emo. Today, I'm coming to you in my super comfy loungy clothes, no makeup, eyes a bit swollen, tea in hand, scratchy sore throat, because we are going to recap the My Chemical Romance, Black Parade, Long Live the Black Parade tour, Philadelphia edition. I'm so incredibly excited about talking about this because that was one of the best shows I've ever been to. I don't know if it's the best show I've ever been to. I think stadiums themselves are tricky for me. I don't love them quite as much as like an intimate small venue. It's my preference. And that is impossible with my chem currently. But being able to experience everything that was in the show has been absolutely incredible. And I'm so lucky that I got to be in that room because not a lot of people are able to get tickets. And even though it's one of the biggest shows that they've ever done, I guess it is their biggest tour in terms of size of venues, not everyone was able to be there. And I recognize that. I'm so incredibly lucky. I'm so incredibly grateful. I am, grateful that I had the means and the time to be able to travel for it. We ended up going to Philadelphia because they were not coming to Nashville. I don't love Chicago. I don't love Atlanta. Atlanta, I think, is just a festival, though. They're not actually playing a show there. I don't want to go to Florida, especially with the heat. That was something I did consider, even though Philly was very hot. But my husband and I, when the tour was announced and we did pre-sale, we were each on the phone looking up tickets. I was trying to get Jersey. I wanted the hometown. He was on Philly because the dates worked out and it was a place we had never really spent much time. So we're like, oh, that'd be a fun like weekend trip to see a new city, which we enjoy doing. And we unfortunately did not get Jersey. We got decent, which ended up being really good seats in Philly. So that's what we went with. And then we were able to travel there, spend time there for a few days. And then we came back last night. And now I am kind of recovering from it and getting this out to you because as of this being posted on Monday, I'm recording this a day ago on Sunday because that's how it just lined up. So I'm trying to get this done for you, my small but loyal listeners. There's a handful of you I know that exist, but also for myself because I don't want to lose everything that we experienced in the tour before it is here. So let's talk about just the venue and the experience with like the logistics of it before we get into the tour itself, because I do like talking about that as a girl with anxiety. It's something I wish I knew and could expect from different venues whenever I'm looking at new shows and dates that I want to go to. With Philly itself, like it was okay. Like I'd never been to Philadelphia. It was insanely hot, just like here in Nashville. And that was a bummer because it would have been nice to be a little cooler. I think all of us are sweating, even during the show, like Gerard, the band, sweating profusely. I have no idea how they wore those full suits basically up there. I know they probably have fans and stuff, but it was very hot, very humid. So that was a big part of it. We had seats in I think it was like 109 was our section. So kind of off to the side. We were in like the lower area, not the very bottom, but really decent seats overall. It's what I preferred over Flora. Someone who's short, I wanted to be able to see as much as possible. And while I couldn't see like perfectly all details on the stage, we also couldn't see the back screen because it was like a deeper stage. And we were off a bit to the side. I could at least see what was going on. And if I used my camera and zoomed in a little bit, I could see more details specifically. So if I knew like key parts of the show from just following the lore, the fandom stuff, the stuff on TikTok, social media. I knew kind of what parts of the show to look for. And I was able to kind of zoom in and see different details that way, which was great. And we were also kind of right in front of the B stage. So even though it was still fairly back, we could still see them moving around and like see some of the details of what was going on, in addition to seeing all the screens on the side that were showing like their faces and stuff. So the screens were great. Our section was great. The stadium itself was pretty nice. Like, again, we didn't have to line up super early. Doors open at 5:30. We got there around 5, basically because we had lost like things to do. As we were trying to just kill time in different areas, and we didn't really plan that out super well. So we did get there at 5, just stood in line for general admission. We were in the stadium by 5:30, I believe. Walked around. We were able to walk around basically the whole stadium, look at, okay, what food options do we have, or the bathrooms, all that stuff. And we were able to go to the bathroom, grab food, grab some waters, get to our seats. We ended up going back to the upper section to like stand and eat because, again, the sun was out and it was very hot. And then we were able to sit and just kind of talk to people around us for a while before the opener went on at 7. So definitely got there earlier than we needed to. It didn't seem like the lines were that terrible. However, the merch situation was kind of a mess. So for every show until now, they have posted, like Mikey's posted, as well as the MyChem official Instagram. They have posted online the day before, like what early merch would look like. So we originally planned on being there for early merch because we wanted to buy the merch we wanted, take it back to our hotel room, not have to worry about it, then come back for the show. So we had originally planned on being there around like 10 a.m., thinking merch might be at 11. I was like following, like refreshing constantly all the night before. We went to bed early the night before, so we got in that night. And then we woke up at like 6 a.m. So I was awake plenty of time, refreshing constantly. No updates, nothing. The London shows went on sale the day of our show, or maybe the day before. So they were posting about that, but like no one was sharing anything about merch. I did not do my own due diligence of like checking Reddit, checking other threads. I was simply looking at them because, again, they had done it every show. So it's like, oh, they'll let us know. So I was like, well, let me go ahead, because we were originally planning on going to get early merch, not getting like dressed for the show or anything, like casual, coming back, getting it dressed for the show, then going. But I was like, let me just fully get dressed. So I made my own outfit. We'll get to that. But I wore my whole outfit, put on my makeup, all the things. And we were just like hanging out. And finally, I was, talking to my husband about it. I'm like, I really wish we knew like like, is it available? Like, what's going on? And then this was probably like, we left our room by like 8 a.m. To go get breakfast and hang out. And we were literally just roaming the streets of Philadelphia. And this was probably around like noon, maybe. And he was like, well, let me check, like try to see if there's anything on like Reddit or anywhere where people are talking about it. And people had posted like the city specific merch, again, not the band, and that merch was open. Well, we just sat down at a coffee shop. We got coffee and I was like, whatever, like we're not going to rush over there. Like at first I was like, I don't know if I want the city specific merch. Like it was fine. The more that I saw it, I have so much FOMO that we just didn't leave to get there, but whatever. But I was like, whatever, it's fine. Like I don't need it. I'll let people who live here get that. The things I want are, some of them are also on the website. Like it's not a big deal. We'll finish drinking our coffee. We'll head over through transit, like public transit, and then we'll go see if the merch line is there. So we did that. So we got there around like 12:31ish, I believe, somewhere around there. And the outside merch was open. Again, still no info from the band. And we got in line. It was very hot, but the line was fairly short. Talked to a few people online. Everyone else, they all were locals, a lot of them. They were like, yeah, I had no idea this was going on yet. Like, I'm really mad. I would have come earlier. We're like, yeah, we would have too. Like, kind of frustrated, but whatever. Well, while we're in line, I was probably like 10 people back. They were like, if anyone wants the city specific shirt, there's only a handful left and only small and medium. And the girls like around me in line were like, really, really wanting that. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, you guys should get it for sure. If there's a lot of extras, like maybe I'll grab one. And then within like 3 people purchasing, they were like, and now it's all sold out, but it'll be inside the venue later. And then someone in line was like, well, what about the foil posters? Because that's the other kind of special exclusive thing. He was like, well, we have them, but we haven't gotten word that we can sell them. So we were like, oh, Okay. So a lot of people left the line because they were like, we're just here for this exclusive stuff and left. We stayed. We were able to get all of our merch, not anything city specific, which was fine. And we were in and out within like 30 minutes of getting in line, had everything that we needed, left, took it to our hotel, like went on with our day. The merch that we bought were the shirt I'm wearing now, the broken, beaten, damned, like the little military or marching band guy on the back. And then we each got the dog MCR and Kaposhka tour shirt. My husband and I got matching ones. We got the just regular poster because you can't see it in my room right now, but we have all of our posters we travel for. And then we got the flag, the drog flag. My husband saw it and he was like, that's actually really cool. Let's get it. We have sports flags like for the soccer teams that we love in our gym. We have a little home gym. And so he wanted to add that in there. So sports and My Chemical Romance. And so we got that. So we got those things, spent way too much money, left, took it home. And then again, the more that we like saw the shirt out, the more I wish that we had gotten it. It wasn't until probably like 4 or 5, like we were sitting down, we ate like a late lunch. So maybe it was around 2 o'clock. I don't know. I've got all these times mixed up. It was a blur of a day, but it was definitely hours after we had already dropped our stuff off. Then the band posted like the city specific shirt and like merch opens at 10 a.m. We were all like, okay, whatever. So because of that, and the reason why we decided to go ahead and just go with the early, like go check it out versus like wait until the show is that I knew in my head, like these merch lines have been crazy according to fans, that because they did not communicate the early merch, people were going to be lining up in the stadium and it was going to be wild. And so when we did get back to the stadium around 5 o'clock, like the outside merch line was so long, like wrapped around way longer, probably 20 times longer than it was whenever we went earlier in the day. And then in the stadium, like even before, like as soon as we got there, all the merch lines started lining, like getting really backed up. I barely saw any city specific merch on the 100s, the first section. I think I saw it finally when we got closer to like our section, like maybe 105-ish, not the first ones within the entry, but they were all lined up. And then even after the opener, I went back up there because I was going to go to the bathroom again and saw like the lines were still really packed. So I knew that it was going to be chaos because nothing was communicated. So a lot of people just didn't get the merch early. And that I'm sure is very frustrating, especially if that's what you were going for. Like, I regret not just going down there and seeing, but it was also like a 30-minute train ride. We did take public transit. So getting in and out, I have no idea what the parking situation was like. We took public transit. We took the train in. Our hotel was right beside a train station. So we were able to basically take that. We took it halfway down and went to an area, got coffee and all of that before we went down to the stadium, but within the same train line. Getting there was a breeze. Again, 5 o'clock-ish, not packed, totally easy. And this was a Friday evening, so very easy compared to other public transits we've been on. Not the cleanest, but definitely easy and simple. So we got there with public transit. We also took it back after the show. I'd heard some rumors that maybe their trains didn't run as late, but we got on the train at like 11:30-ish, somewhere like that after the show. We got on one of the first trains, very much packed. We were all kind of shoulder to shoulder, like squeezed in, but very simple. So that was really easy, a bit of a walk to the stadium, but not too bad as to ambulatory people. But even after the show, after standing for hours, totally fine. So that was a breeze and very much easier than driving or any of that might have been. But it didn't seem too bad. Even getting out of the stadium into the stadium again, it was fairly efficient, which is a gift. I've been to a lot of stadiums for a lot of different things, and that's not always the case. So the logistics being over, overall simple experience, food was fine, whatever. The show. The show is obviously the whole reason that we were there. And it was beyond what I can imagine. So starting with my anticipation of it, I did create an outfit and I was very excited about it. And I'm glad that I did because it did help. I think getting into the excitement, it's like whenever you go to, I'm a big soccer fan, you go to a soccer game, like putting on like the jersey and then adding the scarf and having all the matching colors of things, like there's just something really exciting about it. And then seeing other people with like those similar things when you get there, like there's an energy with it. And so I'm really glad that I really leaned into that even in my 30s. You know, I feel like a lot of people as they get older kind of feel like they've aged out of a lot of those experiences, but thankfully maybe credited to even like Taylor Swift. A lot of these emo, I mean, bands have done this forever, but with the Eras tour, all the people were just so into it and just letting go of like who can or can't, be involved, but just enjoying it and like having fun with it. That's what I wanted to lean into. So I did create an outfit. I'll overlay it here for who's watching. So if you want to see it, come watch the overlay. The thing in the background. I was really I basically took a jacket that I found from Goodwill, thrifted it, and I found it months and months ago, but it was after we bought tickets to the show. And I was like, oh, that'll be perfect. It's a little too small. So just kept it open. I knew it was going to be hot. So I removed the sleeves. So I took off the sleeves. I added a bit of a red detail after the first show of this tour, seeing the red and gold, which is different, right? That's not the original Black Parade. The original Black Parade is silver. And my jacket had kind of gold buttons, which I was a little worried about because I was like, oh, it's going to be silver. So I was so excited whenever I saw their outfits. So I took a bit of a red detail along the seams of the jacket to add that extra little detail that they also had. And with this jacket, and then I got some kind of tailored sort of pleated suit type shorts. Again, basically their outfit, but summarized. And then I put a gold and then a red stripe on the side, just sort of like matching what they had in the show. So was matching them a bit, and then had just a sports bra underneath to open the jacket up and have a little bit of airflow because it was hot. Put on some fishnets and my combat boots. The back of it, I had a neighbor. I was originally going to do this kind of cape thing and it didn't work out, but I had a neighbor who embroidered on a red fabric, broken, beaten, damned. And so I decided, thinking about this shirt that I'm wearing right now from the tour, I saw the shirt and I was like, that would be perfect as part of the outfit. And so I took that and I kind of cut around the edges of the fabric, frayed it a bit, and then I hand kind of sewed it to be on the back of the jacket. So the whole outfit very much on theme for the tour. Got some great compliments from it throughout the entire day. And I was just really excited about it. So it was really fun getting to like be in it in that way. Came in to the stadium and we got into the original, like the Black Parade set. So the Black Parade had its full theatrical set, and then we have the B stage. Before we get to the Black Parade, though, the opener, because that is something that set Philadelphia apart. Our opener was Alice Cooper. Every show has gotten a different opener. At first, when we bought the tickets, I was a little bit disappointed by our opener, even especially seeing Jersey get Death Cab for Cutie and getting Thursday. I'm a big fan of Thursday. I respect Thursday, especially after the episode I did on them on this podcast. The more I learned about them, the more I was like super obsessed. And I was so jealous that Jersey, just a week before our show, got them as the opener. And that's what I wanted for our opener. And I didn't expect a lot from Alice Cooper. Like, I know Alice Cooper's a legend, not someone I really followed necessarily. So I knew some of the songs, by knowing them, but I never really followed a lot of his sets and his history and all that stuff, tours. I've never followed it. So I was very unfamiliar, I guess, with all that is Alice Cooper. But I knew he was older, and I mistakenly made the assumption that he could be kind of boring as an opener, because why would he be opening for My Chemical Romance as such an iconic kind of rock and roller? Like, if he is still that good, why would he be even opening? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. And I did not expect it to go well. So I was originally even thinking like, hey, if we don't get merch early, like I'll just stand in the merch line during the Alice Cooper set. I don't care if I miss it, like whatever. I'm just going to prepare for the My Chemical Romance sets. I was so wrong. Such an unexpected surprise for me. And those of you who are big fans of Alice Cooper, like you probably are just laughing or shaking your head or rolling your eyes at me right now, because you would have expected what it was. I did not expect it, and I was so pleasantly surprised. It was like an entire tour worth of theatrical set put into a 45-ish minute opener set. Every song had props. There were extra characters, including even his wife as one of the characters. There were actors. It was so theatrical and so perfectly paired with what we got for the Long Live the Black Parade storyline and theatrics and all that was going to follow. He came out on a straitjacket in one of the songs.
Held up an intensive care ward. I was lying on the floor.
He was beheaded on the stage. In a theatrical way. It was not real. Met his wife did it, and then she's carrying his head around, lip singing to his songs. So wild. Like, and then the star of him and his set was actually his female guitarist. Crowd went incredibly wild. And if you've seen anything on social media about his set since then, you've likely seen her. I believe her name is Nikki Strauss. I could be wrong on that, but I believe that is what I'm remembering. But she's beautiful and incredible. And we love to see female representation on a stage, especially in these world and this genre. So she was definitely a highlight. But it's so good. The crowd was so into it. Perfect opener. Because I was even thinking, like, how in the world, like, this guy's older, like, and maybe that's ageist. It definitely is. Like, I'm rethinking a lot of my assumptions right now. But how is he going to get everyone like hyped up for My Chemical Romance? Perfect. Had the crowd singing along, like so cool. Like everyone was into it, dancing, like such an engaging opener. And if someone missed it, I feel bad for you because it was so good. Like if you were in the stadium and you also had that assumption I had, and you spent your time doing something else that maybe wasn't as important, I'm sorry you missed it. It was amazing. So good. I would see him again, even though I guess, again, I'm not necessarily a fan of the music. Like it's fine, but so good. Like so interesting. So good. He even dedicated one of the songs to Ozzy, which was sweet. So now getting into Long Live the Black Parade. I've got notes because I don't want to forget anything. And I'm going to try to, I have not been studying the tour. Like, again, I've been keeping up with it, but I've not been studying it to the point of other people. So I'm kind of using some other notes from others just to see what some of the differences are. So we have the intro, and we actually had, and I don't know if every show has had this or not, but with our intro, we had Marianne, who is the opera singer character who is blind, or we are made to believe that she is blind. The singer is not, but the character is. And she comes out for Mama, so that's her main part. But she's on the main stage at the beginning of ours. So they do the processional. So the auxiliary band comes out. They lay the wheat at the drum set, which they've done for many of the shows. So we have that piece. And then the drummers are playing, they settle in. Well, then Marianne comes out, and recently on social media, we got the Drog National Anthem. So she actually starts it by saying, "All rise for the Drog National Anthem." And it's playing on the big screens with the lyrics, like as if we should be singing along. No one really was, but as that was going on, then My Chemical Romance, Black Parade comes out on stage. Everyone is completely losing their mind, which again, it appears that has happened on other shows as well, but we got that. Then we go into the end, and then they go through all the songs of the Black Parade, coming back to the end at the end. So we kind of come back into that later. So what was different about our set, or some of the, I guess, major points that may or may not be different? Before the show started, as we were getting close to the beginning, they have the rules, and it's in Kaposhka and in English, and they're kind of mixed up and jumbled all together. Some of the rules appeared to be new. You would have to go down the Reddit, Twitter deep dives into the people that are really studying it. But one of the rules was basically don't, like, all of the rules from like these dates, like disregard these rules. So it's like from the majority of the dates before, which is interesting. So we were like, wait, well, what does that mean? What's going to happen now? Which is fascinating. So someone please explain that, and we can link that to this, and we can all learn what in the world that means. They also had pictures of people with like the X's over the faces, and in Kaposhka, like my husband translated it, it said like wanted. I think that's been at most of the shows too. And then at the bottom of those pictures, though, they had 3 letters in Kaposhka, and the translated is MXX. And so my husband, Alex, he was like, what does MXX mean? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, that's what's at the bottom. It says MXX. And so I have no idea what it means, but my immediate thought was Mexico City, right? Mexico X City. And Mexico City is where the Black Parade died last time. And Mexico City is going to be part of the tour. So will the big announcement or whatever happens, or the biggest shift in this storyline and tour, be in Mexico City, as everyone already thinks it may be? Maybe that has nothing to do with anything. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but that was there. So very interesting. Looking at the set list, so we have the end starting, we have Dead, which was so much fun. They did show the dictator at the beginning, or I guess around this time. So this is the introduction. And he was not a mannequin, it was the real guy. And he was back towards the soundstage. He did, at one point, he was eating Philly cheesesteaks. And I think it was in his introduction. He was just like eating the Philly cheesesteaks in his chair. And people were booing him the entire time. And so that happened. Then we have This Is How I Disappear, which was very good. At the beginning of the tour, this is where the clerk first appeared, and the background image was of a city. I don't know the background image. What I could see, because again, we had a square screen, we had the 2 side screens, and then there's the screen in the back of the stage that I could not see. So I have no idea what was happening back there. But the square screen, it was like under the Philly sign for the stadium. It was like a jail cell. And it was like that for, I don't think the entire night. Eventually it shifted, but definitely for the first few songs. And so it was kind of weird, but it was like a jail cell looking out at like a landscape or something. So again, I don't know if that was any different or not from what we have seen. The Sharpest Lives. So that's where originally they got the note from the clerk. For us, he did get a note, and we had 2 notes total. So one of the notes, he kind of wrestled with it of what to do with it. We were all cheering, and he tore it up and threw it, or crumbled it up and threw it into the crowd, did not tear it up. So that one, he just crumbled it up after he read it, threw it into the crowd. Hopefully someone from the crowd caught it. I know at one of the shows it said like, your mother does not love you. It's maybe said some different things. So I'm curious what it said, but I haven't seen anything on that quite yet. But that did happen in our show. And then we have Welcome to the Black Parade. And that was with the podium. It was a very cute moment where the podium, like the kid mic kept dropping, which was really funny. And so that was a humorous moment that you'll probably see. He also forgot, like Gerard forgot the mic again, like had happened at other shows, but that was part of it. So we had the podium.
There we go.
When I was a young boy, my father took me
we got the song, and then it had like the pictures, like a video kind of playing on the screens, similar to parts of the national anthem of like the people of Drog, basically, and kind of showing the sadness and all of that, similar to kind of the same style as Welcome to the Black Parade, the music video, but slightly with this kind of different Drog touch to it.
He said, "Son, when you grow up, would you be the savior of the broken, the beaten, and the
Which again, I think has been other shows too, but that was really interesting and cool. Then we have I Don't Love You. We did have the election execution situation, and that's something that was a bit different for our show compared to others. So during that, I should have looked up his name, but the Phillies, the baseball team's mascot, this big like green looking monster thing, he comes on stage. So at other shows, there's been food incorporated in some way, right? There were the hot dogs at one of the shows. There was the spaghetti at Jersey while Gerard was like sitting reading the magazine. For our show, before the execution thing, Gerard makes a statement where he was like, the Black Parade is no longer, like, they lost their job as the spokesperson for the Dodgers. They had played in LA, the Dodgers Stadium. We are now the spokesperson of the cheesesteak. And the clerk and that mascot come out and they're throwing out cheesesteaks to the audience.
But luckily, we got a new gig. And our funny friend right here is gonna help us earn the big bucks. The Black Parade is now the official spokesman of the cheesesteak.
So the band did not eat anything, but they're throwing them out to the audience. So that was interesting. And then as that's happening, they're all celebrating. Everyone's losing their mind because it's this mascot. And he's saying stuff about the mascot. The mascot's like dancing all funny and being crazy. And it was cute. But then he's like, oh, now we've got to kill some people. Again, theatrically, not really. And he goes to kind of back to the podium. And he makes this whole statement about, oh, this is what we do every time. Call it an execution, if you will. Maybe these people are innocent. Maybe they're not. I don't know. But let's decide if they should die or something. And like very nonchalant, but saying some different words than what I think we've heard. And he holds up the sign. He was like, okay, you guys haven't even walked in. So raise your sign if you want chicken or fish. And that's what the sign says, which is new.
All right, so let's kill some people. Oh, wait, different thing. Okay, so when you came in, you all got this sign, and one side says chicken, the other says fish, right? Is that... Never mind. Sorry, hold on.
And it was, I don't remember the colors, but I know one of them was like yellow. They were different colors than the red and black that we have with the yay or nay signs that we got at the beginning. And so he's like, chicken or fish. She's like, oh, wait, no, that's not right. Puts it back. And then we do the whole yay or nay.
Right? The other side, it says nay, right?
I don't know exactly how people voted. I think more people did vote yay. And so he's like, got to give the people what they want. So they do the execution and they all go down. So we did not have a survivor at our show, but they all go down, confetti goes off, and everyone cheers.
Ready? Aim! Fire!
And then we move on and we go to the I Don't Love You song. And then we go into House of Wolves, which is good. Cancer. This is where we get the slap before Cancer. So this is our second note. And this is the one where he just tears it up. And with that, It's a very quick. He gets the note, tears it up, gets ready, gets slapped. We don't really get much more that I could see through that. So hopefully I didn't miss anything, but he didn't seem to resist it or anything.
This is Philly. We fight back here. Yeah.
There were the scratches on Gerard's face. I know that's been talked about because the first show they weren't there, then one appeared. We had scratches on both sides of the face this show. That was it that I could notice, but we did have that throughout the show, even before the slap happened. But then we get cancer. There's laughing during it, which is very odd. Did not like it as much, but that was there. Then we go into Mama, and that's where Marianne comes back. And she's on the B stage and she's part of it throughout the song. There's a man on fire in the background. I did not get that on video, did not time my video as well for that one, but that was really interesting. But something very interesting is that we had the doll who is called the Gentleman. Now, the doll had been given to Gerard, I believe, in Arlington. Yeah, the Texas show. Gerard got this doll given to him at the very end after the stabbing and all of that when he's dying on the stage, theatrically, not really. And during Mama, we get the doll.
And when we go down, play the house, yeah. We let the fire down, baby, love, yeah. Need a sound, fading us, well, never let you go. She said you ain't no son of mine. To what you tell you, gonna find your mind, a place for you and just you. You're never letting go. And when you got to return to me, my love, that's right, Mama, we are gonna have.
And he's holding the doll up and singing with the doll. We also, something I noticed during the song on the side screens, I don't know what was happening on the back screen, but the side screens, we did get like a map popping up every now and then. Kind of like with coordinates, but I had no idea what it was. That was really interesting, just like the map popping up piece. So hopefully someone can decode that, or maybe that's been happening every set. I just haven't seen that yet, and I thought that that was really interesting. Then whenever Marianne was announced, he's like said different things, but he did make the statement that when she sings, she can see everything, which is also interesting. I think that that was unique to our set. So after Mama, then we go into Sleep. But that's after Gerard is in the chair. So he's been sitting in the chair with different things. So he like brushes his hair back and he sits in a chair with his coat off. And I know some of it's like a magazine. Again, he's eating food in some of them. For ours, he had a puzzle book. And then he was like making the puzzle and getting really frustrated and scratching it out, but trying to solve like puzzles with a pencil. And then we go into Sleep. And then we have Teenagers, which is just a lot of like there's a game show kind of piece to that, which is really interesting during the show. And that keeps going. So that's, I don't think, any different than it has been. And then we have Disenchanted. For this one, we actually had the fan project, and for our show, we did Purple Over the Lights, and so the crowd was just like purple during Disenchanted. It wasn't as intense as like some of the sets have been I've seen, like a little harder to see the colors, but you could see kind of a purple and pink crowd, which was really special. So that was really fun to participate in. The girl in our section that was handing it out and kind of responsible, she was 2 seats basically in front of me. So it's fun to see that, but she was excited and really into it. So we got to participate in that, and that was special. Disenchanted is one of my favorite songs. So that just felt like a really special moment. The flag was flying, it was nice. And it was a good song and a sweet moment. Then we go into famous last words. And there was a countdown kind of with this as well, which was interesting. And that's been at the other shows as well. It's, the crowd singing, all that's going on. And then we go into the end of the end. So the reprise of the end.
Makeup with sinister spread. Now throw on the black dress, mix it with the light. You might wake up and notice you're someone you're not. If you look in the mirror and don't like what you see, you can find out firsthand what it's like to be me. So gather around, please, and kiss this goodbye. I'll encourage your smiles, I'll expect you won't cry.
And this is where the clerk comes out now as a clown. Not to spoil it for you if you haven't been spoiled by already, but the clown comes out, it's kind of dancing, takes the dagger that Gerard had previously given to the clerk, because the clerk is now the clown, during Mama, the extended version, right? So we have the extended thing, and he's like, a dagger, fetch me a dagger. Well, that he has the dagger in his hand, he gives it to the clerk. Now the clerk comes out as a clown, has the dagger, stabs Gerard at the end, or towards the end of the song. Gerard kind of falls to the ground and is like crawling his way, finishing. It's drama, it's theatrics. The rest of the army comes in to capture the rest of the band, right? They're getting kidnapped as they're running around the stage. One thing that was interesting, maybe it's happened in other sets, but there's been a red phone throughout the tour. And one of the shows, like Gerard talked on the red phone. I think he's maybe done that twice, like especially one with the electrocution where they voted nay and he got on the phone and came back and did it anyways. And I believe it happened another time maybe. Well, the red phone comes out where the clown in the background of Gerard, like crawling, dying on the stage theatrically. The clown is on the phone and you could see him mouthing, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to go home. And you can say, I want to go home. I want to go home. what does it mean? I don't know. But showing some set of maybe he's following like the rules, being controlled, but doesn't want to be doing it and doesn't want to be there, maybe. And then we go into blood. Gerard is done. The clown, lip singing blood, dancing on the stage, ends by opening up his jacket. Underneath is a bomb vest, theatrics, and it has this little circle with a line through it, the same line, the same logo sign that comes up during the rules before the show, where it says like you didn't see anything or you saw nothing, and it has that on it. It's on his vest. The end pops, like again, theatrics, not real, but the showcase of blowing up the entire stage. He falls to the ground. And the long-lived Black Parade set is now over. Basically, as soon as that ends, we are taken to the B stage, where there is a celloist. I don't know who she is, but she's amazing. And so she plays for 15, 20 minutes. I don't know. It's all a blur. We're all freaking out. Like, can you believe that? This happened, that happened. Oh, it was amazing. All of that. What do you think is going to happen on the B stage? Which way do you think that the band's going to come? I was so set on believing that they were going to come on our side. And I was so excited because we could see kind of behind the stage. So we could see them driving like their golf carts. We got to see them all leaving at the end. But they did not come on our side. They came on the other side. But the band comes back out and we go into the B stage set. And that is where Philadelphia, I feel like we finally got a little bit of redemption for our merch situation. They gave us a really good set. Did I get the songs that I wanted? I made a list beforehand. I really wanted Desert Song. Didn't get it. I wish. That would have been great. I wanted All the Angels, Early Sunsets Over Monroeville, Demolition Lovers, and Kill All Your Friends. I didn't get any of the songs that I wanted, but that's okay. That's okay because we still got some incredible sets. So this is the set list. Head First for Halos. So good. So much energy. Like it took me a second even to fully realize what I was hearing, which I think is just how it goes like when you're sort of blacked out those shows anyways. Bury Me in Black. I'm Not Okay. So much fun. Destroya. Heaven Help Us. Give 'em Hell, Kid. And for this one, he did do like a shout out to a fan that he had met. There's been some stories told later on that it was someone who did maybe make a wish for that. And that was called, I believe, Joyce was the name. Foundations of Decay.
Come on!
Na na na. Helena. And then we ended with Kids from Yesterday, which was so special. And the crowd was just wild the entire time. So such a cool B stage set. Some of the things, not too much happened during the B stage set that I could notice and really pull apart. But one thing that did happen that people have talked about too, that I've seen on social, so really stood out, was Gerard said a lot of things. Now, again, I missed a lot because he kind of mumbled and just like went on tangents for a few of the songs. I had no idea what he was saying. But before Na Na Na, he was announcing it because he announced some of the songs and he said, this is the number two, like this is our number two song of the summer. And fans have said, that they've mentioned like I'm Not Okay as being like a number one song of the summer. But the Na 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 was number two. And Frank said, well, there'll be number three. And so Jar was like, oh, Frank, there'll be number three. Like what will be number three? And Frank said, we'll write it. He was like, oh, well, will you let me know? Okay, I'll let you know, which is interesting with all the speculation of a new album or whatever might be coming out of all of this tour, like what's coming next from the band. That was a little bit of a hint towards that. Something else that they said specifically around that album and Revenge was about Give 'Em Hell, Kid. Whenever he was talking about that, in addition to the dedication to the fan, he mentioned that whenever they were writing the album, he wrote like a whole music video, like set up, I guess, what was going to be their biggest, like the single for it. And he was so excited about it. Like, this was the song he was the most excited about. He wrote this whole music video for it. And his team and producers, all of that, I guess, label, they all were like, no, it needs to be I'm Not Okay. People are going to like the Not Okay thing. And he just kept mentioning that. It's like, people are going to like the Not Okay stuff. And so they did the Not Okay music video, which was iconic, we know. But it was really interesting that he was talking about Give 'em Hell Kid. And he kept talking about bangers and joking and laughing at himself. But that's pretty much all that happened there. Another note that I've made for the show that was interesting is that Frank, his dad was actually in the auxiliary band for this show. So whenever they did announce the auxiliary band, he said the ones that have been on the stage, and someone new on the stage this time, but didn't really say who it was. But we found out later that it was Frank's dad, which was cute. And I'm sure very special to have that experience. And that was all that I really took away. It ended with like confetti everywhere. Or no, that was during the at the end of the Black Parade set, and it was black and white. So people were grabbing that. But other than that, I don't think there's anything else that I missed. My section was pretty fun. There weren't a lot of exchanging of like bracelets and things. We did get a little kind of souvenir thing. It was like a little card that was a cute little official like recruitment notice from the Drog military. That was cute. One girl was doing that. She handed that out. We got the fan project. But beyond that, people were somewhat okay. I talked to a few of the people in my section. A lot of people weren't really interested in talking or engaging in that way, which is fine. I had my husband there and got to talk with him and just got to experience it. I was on my feet the entire time and sang every song. My throat still hurts and danced, and it was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So if you're able to see this show, if you're not, I get it. Like, tickets are really expensive. Merch is really expensive, like the hardest part of it. But it was such a good show. So at least you're getting what you pay for, which I appreciate about a show. But if you can get last minute tickets, maybe from those scalpers that, didn't make much out of it, like closer to a showtime, you should definitely go. Even if you're not a huge My Chemical Romance fan, if you're a fan of opera, theater, just art in general, and then music, like, you're going to enjoy it because that's what this show is. I mean, yes, there's a lot of like political, like, undertones and a lot of things you can have deep conversations about later. But at the end of the day, it's also art as theater, very operatic. I have a good friend of mine who's an opera singer, and she was looking at some of the clips I shared on socials, like my stories after. She was like, I see so many operatic themes like throughout this. And I was like, yeah, I think like they definitely pulled from that. Like, it's very opera forward, but with a different touch to it. And like theater is pulled in. Like, there's so much to it beyond just the music. And it's very entertaining and also just interesting to be a part of, being a part of this storyline and kind of the experience of what we're seeing happen in the world, in our own country, other countries, but being part of it and seeing it kind of play out differently in that way, I think it's very interesting and worth your money and time to be a part of so that you can see what you think about it. That was my experience. That was it. And I'm sad that it's over. I've been looking forward to this for so many months and been following along and just getting so excited. And I have more shows and things coming up that I'm also very excited about, but I'm also sad that this is now behind me. Kind of in a bit of that, like, still on the high, but also the reality of, wait, that was the date I was going to, like, that's over. And I probably will not be able to go again. It's sad, but I'm glad I got to experience it. So, mix of emotions and feelings and all the things right now, but I will just be wearing my shirt proudly, getting my rest, and looking forward to whatever comes next and following along whenever you guys go to the shows and continue sharing like all the pieces of how the storyline and the set and the tour evolves over time. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing this with me. If you have something I missed that you pulled apart from this specific show, put it in the comments. I'd love to see it. And we can all kind of keep following the lore, being clowns ourselves a little bit throughout the rest of the tour. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next class.